Here's where the Finch LRT stands, including what's built, what's being tested, what broke, yes the glass, and what that means for riders stuck on crowded Finch buses right now. Let's start with the status that actually matters. The line is physically complete and deep into testing and commissioning, but there is still no announced opening date as of yet. The most concrete public signal lately came to us on August 3rd of 2025, where Metrolinx announced that testing is ongoing and that they won't commit to any time frame yet. That same reporting also highlighted the "why isn't this fixed yet" frustration you hear on the street, lane closures for remedial work, and the sense that the finish line keeps on moving. On the testing front, there were real milestones this year. In late spring, Metrolinx confirmed light rail vehicles (LRVs) ran the full length of the route for the first time, safely reaching up to 60 kilometers an hour. By December of 2024, they'd already shown they could operate with 15 trains in simultaneous tests, about the fleet needed for full service, and 2025 has been about expanding and validating that operating pattern. These aren't cosmetic steps. They're what proves doors, brakes, power, and signals behave like a system under real-world conditions. If you want a quick anatomy of the line you'll be riding, it's 11 kilometers long with 18 stops, running between Finch West Station at Line 1 and Humber College's North Campus at Highway 27. Two underground stations bookend the line, Finch West, interchange with the subway, and Humber College. The promised peak headway is 5 to 7 minutes, with 18 LRVs delivered and housed at a new maintenance and storage facility just west of Jane and Finch. Those are stable facts, and they underscore the scale. This is a full corridor rebuild, not a paint and pray bus lane. Now for the latest headline you've probably seen, which is the broken glass. Over the spring and into summer, multiple platform glass panels at Sentinel, Tobermory, and Driftwood stops were visibly shattered and left unrepaired for months. Now the headline you've probably seen, which is the broken glass. Over the spring and into summer, multiple platform glass panels at Sentinel, Tobermory, and Driftwood stops were visibly shattered and left unrepaired for months. This was well documented during the month of August, including photographs and interviews with local riders and the area MPP. Metrolinx's response was that the panels are safety glass, and that they remained in one piece when they were broken. The damage was caused by vandalism, and replacements are coming, and the costs are covered within the existing project budget, according to Metrolinx. None of that, however, changes the optics. Shattered station glass erodes public confidence, even if it isn't a functional safety hazard, and it fuels the perception that a finished line is still waiting for a punch list to be closed out. From a how does a project actually end standpoint, 2025 has been the year of tidy up and validate. The Community Liaison Committee materials from late June flagged that Finch West Station, one of the two complex underground nodes, was expected to reach occupancy by the end of June, while testing and commissioning continued corridor-wide. That aligns with what you've seen on the street, signs of a fully built corridor with intermittent lane closures to correct curbs, sidewalks, or other deficiencies found during inspections. That work is annoying, but it's also normal for late-stage acceptance on a linear project that touches dozens of intersections. If you zoom out to the last 18 months, you can draw a clearer arc. In December of 2024, Metrolinx publicly declared major construction finishing across the line, stations, stops, and core systems. In parallel, they moved testing up a notch, end-to-end runs, speed validation, and eventually concurrent train movements. The power systems, overhead catenary, and rail were reported complete. By spring of 2025, the agency was touting the first full alignment test trips on the line, a key threshold before you start rehearsing actual service patterns. These are all the Lego pieces you need before you can announce a date with a straight face. So then why not announce the opening date of the Finch West LRT? Two reasons tend to dominate at this phase of a modern light rail transit project. First, integrated systems testing is a gate you do not rush. Every subsystem, vehicles, signals, communications, traction power, platform interfaces, platform doors were present, has to play nicely together under different loads and failure scenarios. That's what the multi-train burn-in and end-to-end rehearsals accomplish. Second, deficiencies are common and contractually routine. Concrete tolerances, drainage, signing timing, accessibility items, and wayfinding all get combined through and fixed. If you open the line before these lists of things is complete, you pay for it in public trust. Metrolink says those remedial fixes are covered under the existing project budget, which signals we're in the expected closeout window, not an open-ended cost spiral. Let's put some rider-facing numbers around this. The agency's What We're Building page is explicit about intended service. Trains every 5 to 7 minutes at peak. LRVs are designed for roughly triple the capacity of a standard bus, and in 24-25 testing, they've run the corridor in about 34 minutes end to end. If you're a current 36 Finch West rider, that's the difference between staring at brake lights and moving on in a dedicated right-of-way, an impact you will feel even if you still transfer to the subway at Kiel. None of this erases the history. The line was supposed to be done by the end of 2023. In August of 2024, the builder, Mosaic Transit Group, filed a lawsuit against the province, which Metrolinx won't comment on while it's before the courts. That background helps explain the caution around promising dates. Once you're in litigation, every scheduled statement gets lawyer-proofed. But litigation or not, the technical yardsticks, fleet-delivered, power-up, multi-train testing, station occupancy, are the best predictors of how close you are to opening. They all point to close, with final commissioning and fix-ups as the final hill to climb. About the glass again, because it's the tangible thing residents see, vandalism-resistant design is a legitimate question. The MPP raised it in that same City News piece, were materials and details chosen with the corridor's real-world context in mind. The answer may be yes to typical transit standards, but typical might not be enough where exposure and risk are higher. Replacing damaged panels before opening isn't just housekeeping, it's a design and operations lesson for the line's life cycle. Materials, CCTV coverage, response times, and how you communicate about repairs. If I were to summarize where we are with the Finch West LRT at this point for riders and local businesses along Finch, this is what I will say. What's finished is the civil work, the power, the fleet delivery, the canopies, all 116 of them, and the core of the stations and stops. What's being verified is full line operations with many trains, door cycles, braking and acceleration profiles, and the last set of accessibility and safety checks. What's still clearly missing is some of the glass panel replacements at several stops, scattered curb, sidewalk, and lane closure remedials, and the public's patience, which is understandably thin at this point. What you can, however, reasonably expect when it opens is 5 to 7 minute peak headways, a 34-minute end-to-end travel time, a clean subway transfer at Finch West Station, and direct service into Humber College. And it's worth saying plainly that this corridor will matter. It links dense neighborhoods, a major college campus, and multiple regional bus systems, including the MyWay, Brampton Transit, Zoom, and YRT, to Line 1. When it's operating as intended, it will drain pressure off the 36 Finch West bus and free up road space, even for drivers who don't plan to touch the LRT. That's the whole promise of higher order transit. Make the reliable choice obvious. So where does this leave us today? The broken glass is a black eye, but not the whole face. The testing milestones are meaningful, not marketing. The lack of a firm date is frustrating, but also consistent with the don't announce until you've cleared the last technical gates approach that agencies revert to after bruising delays. If you're looking for one sentence you can repeat to friends, the Finch West LRT is built and running trains and tests across the full route. Some station repairs and system sign-offs remain, but there's still no public opening date. But the line's operational bones are, however, in place. And that's the honest state of play. I hope that you liked the video. If so, please give it a like. If you're not subscribed and want to be notified of new videos that are released, please click on the Art Toronto button here. This is the video that I would recommend for you to watch next, and I'm sure that you're going to love it. Here's the playlist for all of the latest in transit news and views that you're going to find very informative and interesting. And finally, here is the latest video. Thanks for watching, and happy transiting.